Hey, what's up guys, TheJordude here, back again with another Shadowverse video. This is going to be episode 2 of TheJordude's notable picks for Starforged Legends. The expansion is coming out quite soon, September 28th. Of course, I'm doing the notable picks based off the cards that they put on their official site. Tons of cards have been released ahead of time, and the site's always a little bit behind. Unfortunately, that's how it is, just so I can make the video easier for me. But yeah, so I'm going to go over some 5 more cards today, on cards that I think are interesting or will see play, or at least worth talking about. So the first card I want to talk about is King Elephant. So this is the second new Forestcraft legendary. It's a 10 cost 1/1, evolves into a 3/3. It has Storm, and its fanfare is return all other allied followers to your hand, gain +1/+1 for each card in your hand, and it ignores enemy followers' wards. So your opponent can't cheat against you, they can't build a wall. King Elephant is going face. So ideally, when you bounce the cards back into your hand, you're going to have 9 cards in your hand, so that King Elephant has 10 attack, or if you evolve it, it's going to have 12 attack, and that's just 12 damage face. And it is, since it is a Forestcraft card, and it is 10 cost, you could combo it with a card, the White Wolf, so that when White Wolf dies, you draw the King Elephant, and it becomes 0 cost, and now you could do a combo with either, if it's turn 10, you could do 2 King Elephants, and do like 20 damage just by that combo. So that's better than the Silver Ball combo, because 2 Silver Balls alone, the max you could do is 18, so it's with 2 King Elephants, now you could do 20 damage, and your opponent can't do anything about it because wards doesn't stop it. So that's actually pretty cool. But if you don't want to do that, you could also do there's a lot of combos you could do, and it's going to take a while for me to get used to the math on all these different combinations. But you could use Roach, because especially if you combo this off of your well, you have to combo it off of your White Wolf. So if you do that, King Elephant costs 0. You could do some kind of Roach, so you could play your Roaches first, you play King Elephant, the Roaches bounce back to your hand, so you could play Roaches again. So if they don't have any wards, you could do like a ton of damage, especially if you have like some 0 cost fairies in your hand as well. It's just, there's so much damage potential here. So King Elephant is definitely an interesting card. Will it see play? I'm not too sure. It's going to depend. Like Silverbolt combo did see some play, but the meta was a bit slower. So if the meta is like, if the format's really aggressive, then I would just play regular OTK Roach how we're doing it now. But if the meta does slow down, if there's a lot more wards coming out in the game, people are playing just like ramp dragons, like Guardian Sunhaven for whatever reason, then maybe King Elephant could be really sick. I'm at least going to, this is at least going to be a deck that I'm going to play on stream. But yeah, if the meta does slow down, King Elephant's definitely viable. If not, if the meta's still like mid-rangey aggressive, then I would probably just stick to regular OTK Roach. But yeah, cool card for the very least. Next I want to talk about is Starry Elf. So she's a 3 cost Forest Bronze card, 2/2, evolves into a 4/4 fanfare. Put a random amulet from your deck into your hand. So this kind of tutor card is actually really interesting, because right now Woodland Brambles is a really good amulet for Forest right now. It's really effective, especially because Clash activates first. So if your opponent's follower has like 1 health left, the Clash will activate, so your follower doesn't die. So Woodland Brambles have been seen play in pretty much all the OTK Roach decks, and there have been a Japanese player, I believe he topped a JCG tournament with Temple Forest, and that was like a couple weeks ago. But he had Urios to tutor out the Woodland Brambles, so now you don't need that. Now you can just play Starry Elf. It's a 3 cost. It's pretty much like a Goblin Mage, but instead of drawing you Roach, it'll draw you Woodland Brambles. So I actually really like this because it's adding more consistency to Forestcraft, even though it's already a consistent deck. But now you could have an option to tutor out your Woodlands, or maybe you want to. It also works for Path to Purgatory, of course. So there have been people playing Path to Purgatories recently. So Starry Elf could draw you that. Just really good, solid card. definitely worth talking about in this episode. Skipping over Swordcraft, we're going to go into Runecraft and talk about Loria, Dancer of the Sun. So, of course, Rune, silver card, 4 cost, 3/4, evolves into 5/6. And her fanfare is summon an Earth Essence if there are no allied Earth Sigils in play. So basically, if you don't have any Earth Sigils, it gives you one. But the enhanced 10, double all other allied followers' attack and defense, is actually really cool because the Sun Oracle, the legendary Pascal, her effect happens at the end of your turn, so you don't get her benefits immediately. However, for Loria, she does come out a bit later if you're enhancing her for 10, but if you have like 2 other followers on the board, that's already really good value. So we might see kind of like a mid-rangey Earth Sigil deck come out, or maybe even like a control Earth Sigil where you're playing like Juno Laboratories and stuff like that. And then you just play Loria on 10, you double like your Guardian Golem, so now they're like 6/6 wards. They're really beefy. So this card is definitely something to keep your eye out on, especially if Earth Sigils slow down, because right now Earth Sigils are like the burn heavy deck. So if it does slow down, maybe this card could see some play, or maybe just not even control, but like mid-rangey Earth Sigil deck. So we're actually skipping over Dragoncraft as well, and moving on to another silver card. And this is a Shadowcraft one, Loot Leonard Necromancer. 8 cost, 4/4, evolves into 6/6. The fanfare is summon 3 skeletons, and at the end of your turn, give a random enemy follower -4, -0 until the end of your opponent's turn if there are at least 4 allied followers in play. So when you play this card, it's giving you 3. When you play, it's an 8 cost card, it gives you 4 bodies. So the condition where you need at least 4 allied followers in play, it's gonna hit most of the time unless something weird happens. So I think this card is actually pretty good. It makes a follower -4. Most of the time it'll make that follower useless. It can't really attack for anything. So it could be like a good tempo play. Also, the fact that it gives you like so many bodies is really good in comboing for either like Ector, Demon Lord, or even things like your whites from your white king. The other 7 cost card, I can't, his name's off my mind right now. The 4/5 golden one gives you 2 whites. Of course, you can't really play this. You wouldn't play this in a Neptus deck, so because you already have Mordecai and Neptus as your 8-drops, and you wouldn't want to add another 8-drop in. But it's definitely a mid-range supporting card. And the 3 skeletons, the fact that it gives you more shadows, maybe you could even play it in like a Deathly Tyrant deck, or it also sets off your Atomy, but it makes no sense to play Atomy off of your loot. But yeah, so mainly mid-range, gives you shadows for your necromancy costs, as well as giving you bodies for your Demon Lord Ectors mainly. And it can also combo with like Prince of Catacombs and things like that. So I do think it could be a card with potential in mid-range shadow. We'll have to see how it goes. The last card we'll talk about in this video is going to be the second Blood legendary Jormungand. 6 cost, 5/5, evolve into a 7/7. Last words: whenever your leader takes damage during your turn, deal 1 damage to all enemies. And this effect, like it is for Kerberos, is that it's stackable and it lasts for the rest of the match. So this is actually pretty cool. It's the same cost as Kerberos, so maybe you don't run both, or you actually could maybe run both, because Kerberos caps your play points at 6, so you can still play Jormungand. But that could actually work out, maybe like a Kerberos Jormungand stall deck or something like that, because the dealing damage to yourself on your turn happens quite often as Bloodcraft. Like you have things like your Wraiths, you have your Belphegors, you have like Blood Wolves. There's so many things that does damage to yourself, so the fact that that happens, you get a good effect for doing the self-inflicting damage, plus you're going to get an AoE effect. It could be really powerful, so we're going to have to see how good Jormungand is. Of course, 1 damage to all enemies, it actually does make a difference a lot of times, but maybe it's not going to be significant next format, and so you would have to be stacking them. Also, it's a last words effect, so it's not an instant effect. You're not going to get it the turn you play it unless you evolve and crash into something. And then there's always the potential that if you just play it, it might get banished. So there is some downside to playing this card, or there's some risk in playing it. but it does seem interesting. For at least Karamboros is seen play, and not many people, and some people didn't think Karamboros would be that good. So we'll see how this works out, and yeah, definitely interesting, definitely something to put on this episode. So that's going to be it for this video. If you guys like the video, make sure you give it a thumbs up and subscribe. If you have any ideas or anything you want to talk about the cards that I talked about in this video, make sure you comment down below and follow me in my social media links in the description, my Twitch, Twitter, and all that. So thanks for watching, guys. As always, see you guys next time. Peace. 朝をむさぼり夜を吐き出し